And for my next impersonation, February, said July. Bloody freezing. Middle of summer and it's cold, windy, cloudy. It's British summertime, isn't it? Now, it would appear that my comfort zone is continuing to take a pounding with what you can see on my bench. I have been kindly given the opportunity to review and build this little bad boy, the Great Wall Hobby MiG-29 SMT Full Chrome. I've just noticed something. The lights that I use here are reflecting off this gorgeous glossy box surface, and there appears to be a sticker that Great Wall Hobby have placed on the cover of the box over the serial number of the aircraft. Now it's RF92935, but for some reason there is a sticker that's, well, the RF929 is the sticker. So obviously they got something wrong, and I've gone to great lengths to... hang on. RF92... ah! Huh. It should have been RF929. Originally it said RF92235. Yeah, so here we go again with another jet. Now, I won't be getting started on the build of this for a few months because I still have the T45 Goshawk for our club's kind of group build for our table display in Telford at School Model World later this year in November. But as soon as I've got that out the road, I'll be getting started on this bad boy. I've never built a Great Wall Hobby kit before. I do have their Devastator torpedo bomber in the stash. I just never ever got around to starting it. And I do also have the Northrop Black Widow in the stash as well. They are sumptuous affairs, Great Wall Hobbies kits. They're very well thought out, very well put together packages. Now, this is a side opening box. I mean, it's a beautiful box. Don't get me wrong, you've got your two colour options, well not colour options but marking options. You've got your stencil diagram on the back. Stencils. But on jets, I suppose they are quite important. And as I say, just a lovely looking package all in. Now, as I say, it's a side opening box, and you're probably saying, well, and yes, it's not a great, you know, it's not that important that it's a side opener as opposed to the normal sort of lift top box. But the thing is, if you're like me and you might have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or whatever kits on the go at any one given time, it's kind of handy to have your, once you've done working on a kit on the bench, the box then becomes a makeshift sort of storage area, come tray, whatever, and you know, they're conveniently labelled as well, so you know what's in it. And my work in progress shelf is basically a whole row of similar boxes. Oh, not similar boxes, but similar, you know what I mean. So you can't really do that with a side opening box. That being said, this is a Great Wall Hobby, so when you open your box, you are faced with yet another box. So they do actually provide you with somewhere to keep all your bits and bobs, should you not finish it in one go. So, what can we see in the box? First thing that's off the top is a two-sided colour diagram, painting scheme, or the colour scheme. It's exactly the same on both aircraft, it's just that they have different serial numbers. This one being, which one is, oh, there's the box one, RF92935. This one doesn't have that serial number in that particular place. That's number 8, and that's red 8, and that's red 23. But yeah, it's just kind of a splinter pattern type camouflage, but I've never done. I mean, as you know, I'm not a jetty person. I mean, my knowledge of jets is that they go fast and have a pointy bit at the front. But the thing is, I've always quite liked Russian jets for some reason. They just have an aura, a kind of a quintessential Russian-ness about them. And I've always quite liked the MiG-29, so it's quite convenient really that I've got the chance to have a go at this one. Instruction leaflet. Great Wall Hobby do lay their instructions out in a nice, clean, concise way. Lots of different stages. You know, this one goes up to well, 16. You're onto the weapons assembly by 16. But rather than having one drawing with like thousands of parts trying to be attached, so you've got arrows pointing every which way, they do seem to break up the steps into nice. I mean, for example, the undercarriage is really split up into like 5 different steps. That's just the front undercarriage, so you're not overwhelmed by you know, lines and arrows pointing every which way. But we'll have another look at that. First thing we're faced with is yet another box. A box inside the box, which is inside the box. Oh, and this, which when I first saw this I thought, resin! But it's not. It's actually injection moulded, but your ordnance comes on this separate little blister pack. Well, I suppose you would call it a blister pack. 2-part blister pack with each weapon on a separate sprue. And it has to be said that the detail on it is, if they were made in resin, I doubt if you would actually be able to tell the difference. Great Wall Hobby's ability at injection moulding is up there with the best of the best. But we'll have a look at that when we get to the actual bits and bobs. As I said, the box inside the box, this contains presumably some fragile parts, which is why they've isolated them. Hello. We have clear parts, nice separated, although it does look like there's been some rubbing on the top of the canopy. Not that that's a problem on the top of the canopy, that'll buff out no problem at all. Not a lot of clear parts, just the front and the rear section, some presumably lights, but that's about it. A cockpit sidewall detail, which, wow, looks very, very crisp and clean and even, as it were. I don't know what that part is. I'm sure the instructions will enlighten us. And another sort of errant sprue which looks like air brakes and a ladder on it. Of course. Tucano. Between that and a gazillion private jets and commentary helicopters, the Open Golf Championship is on in St Andrews as I speak, and it's chaos. I will be avoiding that part of the world completely over the next 4 days. All the traffic, all the public traffic, people who are obviously wanting to go and see the Open, is being diverted through the village to a field just outside a little town called Garbridge, which is just next to Lookers, which is where the airbase is, which is in itself just next to St Andrews. And it's a kind of a park and ride. You'll park in the field and buses will take you to and from the tournament. But they're all being diverted through our little village. Great fun. Anyway, this is a review about a MiG-29, not the Open Golf Championship. So what do we have in the box itself? 1, 2, as opposed to that box, this is in this box. 1, 2, wow, look at that. Boy, that. Look into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate bags of sprues. I mean, there's your weapons pylons are in a separate bag all by themselves. And from this one, looks like hydraulic cylinders, so I'm guessing things for the undercarriage. Wheel wells with plumbing and hydraulics and what looks like actual cable ties on the cabling, as well as connectors. This looks like a good kit actually. Wait till you see the detail on here. Wow. And again, no idea what that part is. Again, hopefully the instructions will tell us. So, oh wait a minute, hang on, right at the bottom here. We have a photo etch fret. A piece of film. I don't know if I can't really. Oh, that'll be for the gun sight, I'm guessing. and the decals, and presumably the stencil sheet. My favourite part of any jet build. So let's have a look at this bad boy in close-up, and you'll see what I've been oohing and eyeing over. First things first, cheers. Oh, I don't know whether I hate it or whether I love it when it harkens, splashes back and gets you in the face. Anyway, come on. Right, let's have a look at these missiles, shall we? I take it this hasn't been moulded, crimped, closed. No. Pop, there we go. Beautifully moulded. Here, I mean, I know we're building models, so therefore we're supposed to enjoy the whole act of gluing things together, but unless they're very, very superbly moulded, missiles are a nightmare because you often get gaps, you know, running along. You know, if it's in two halves for or whatever reason, you know, you have to try and get rid of a seam line, which can be very difficult because they often have these, I don't know what you would call them, these lateral bands that run along the length. So if you're trying to sand, you know, a recalcitrant seam line, it can be a bit tricky. Now I'll apologise, as I say, my knowledge of jets is very limited, so I have no idea what these are called, unless it actually tells us, does it? I don't know if that's a part number. R77. I don't know if that's a part number or if that's the bloody thing's name. That'll be a part number, but again, look at the detail on there. Isn't that rather nice? For injection moulding, not too bad at all. So, minimal construction, which I'm kind of glad about, just as I say, because it can be a bit repetitive if you've got, I mean, that's the ordnance box that I've got for that A10, because I'm going to do a full loadout on it. It's mine, to be honest with you. Where will I put this? Let's go there. Right. So yeah, this part, I'm not quite sure what this part is. Maybe it's part of the wheels, or maybe I don't know. Obviously it's the top part of the fuselage, and again, we're not going to have to worry about any sort of seam line down the centre. Hopefully, as I say, I've never built Great Wall Hobby before. I've heard lots of good things about them, and I'm hoping this will extend to the fit between this when it mates to the bottom half. But again, very nice engraved detail, which with a nice wash should come out quite spectacularly. There's some rivet detail. I'm just trying to angle this. It's like trying to do things in a mirror that you're looking at behind you, where it's mirror image and also reversed. It can be quite tricky. I mean, I'm wanting to move this towards me, which I'm doing so, but it's moving away from me in the camera. I see here there's some textured. Oh God! Ay 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 caramba! I don't know if I can pick it up. You can maybe see the different tonal variations between this part and this part. They've actually got like a different texture of plastic in there. But I'm dying to show you these other parts here. In fact, let's do these next. These are the engine parts, and I do like it when the bags have these little self-sealing sticky bits on them rather than bags that you have to cut open. But feast your eyes on these. Look at that. Why would you need resin with that kind of detail? Look at that. I'm going to, you know, it's my favourite word when describing styrene, but these suckers are sublime. Look at that. That is quality injection. How do you design that kind of mould? I mean, I'm sure it's probably laser cut or something nowadays, I suppose. Probably 3D printed. I don't know. But anyway, there's the turbine fan. No need for resin. Not when you've got And when you've got detail like that, ain't that something? I was about to say, and this one is basically exactly the same thing, just obviously two screws the same. So obviously, is there an option to show the engine? Well, let's have a look. It would be such a shame if there isn't, and these are completely and utterly covered. Yep, they're completely and... Oh no, look, we get a rack to put the engine on, or an engine, so that we can show the Klimov RD33 engine. Next door's dog barks for absolutely any reason whatsoever. So that's the engines. This part of the kit is the, looks like Cockpit Sidewalls. Yeah, so there's the cockpit detail there, the two sidewalls and switchgear there. Not going to complain about that, not one little bit, no sir, not a jot. Again, I would say, unless you were a stickler for the ultimate detailed cockpit, then I would say there's no need for anything here over and above what's in this box. Right, another unidentified large part, but again, hopefully Great Wall will have designed this so that the joins will be along panel lines. Again, some nice vent detail. You can see some nice rivet detail on there. The air brakes. Basically, their garden is directly behind the shed, so he runs about the garden daft and comes right up to the back of the shed. 10 o'clock last night, the two of them were right out there barking their heads off. But being a dog owner, I have to just grin and bear it. There's the inside of the air brakes, beautifully detailed, as one is coming to expect from this kit. The pointy bit, and presumably the horizontal stabilisers, which are one part, we don't have to join them. Vertical stabilisers as well are one part, although we do have the rudder itself is a separate part. Shut up. What I'm concerned is that the neighbours think that's my dog, who's sitting quite comfortably at the top of the garden of the driveway with his nose through the gate, just watching the world go by, calm as anything. So yeah, aforementioned pointy bit. As I said, the twin vertical stabilisers are one piece. So again, we don't have to worry about glue running into places. But you know, as a modeler, I still fumble about on some of the most basic mistakes ever. And for some reason, when I'm sticking things like fuselage halves together, that's my dog, because that's the postman coming to murder us, apparently. If you could excuse me for just 1 second. And they wonder why I drink. I have no idea what I was saying. Now, here's the wheel wells. Now, as I was saying, these have some beautiful the thing is, it's a shame with wheel wells, because unless you have the thing sitting on a mirror, you don't see these things. And I mean, aren't they absolutely beautiful? Wait a minute, hang on, there's more. There's Cockpit Sidewalls again. I wonder if we have maybe it's a different version or something, I don't know. Switch gear detail. There's the actual instrument panel. I wonder if we get a decal for this, or I don't know, we'll find out soon enough. There you go, as you can see, beautifully detailed. Weighted wheels. they are one piece. So again, we don't have to worry about a seam line. Well, we'll have obviously the sprue gate there to deal with, and they do have a tread pattern on them, that, but we'll get around that. The main undercarriage legs here, again rather nicely represented. So all in all, what looks like a very, very nice kit. This appears to be undercarriage as well, the front undercarriage, I'm guessing, and a large square thing. No idea what that is. No idea what any of this stuff is. Oh, you know what that is? That's the cradle for the engine. Of course it is. Stupid boy. So, there we go. Another weapons pylon and some bits. No idea what they are. They're weapon pylons. You don't really need to see these, do you? No. Okay. Right, well, clear parts. As I say, it looks like the, not the front section, but the, oh, look at that. Great Wall have thought of everything. There is actually protective film over this to protect it from rubbing against the inside of that box. The box inside the box inside the box. But Great Wall being Great Wall, thought of that and put some protective film on it. Fantastic. Right. There's the decal sheets and the photo etch fret. I don't recognise anything on the fret, but as I say, not being a jet person, that's not surprising. Let's see. Oh, it comes with it's got a little film backing on it. Now, isn't that clever as well? There's a thin film on. Oh, there's film on both sides of the photo etch. Now, okay, we take one piece off, but we leave the other piece on so that when we're cutting these off, the fret itself, the parts don't go pinging off into the unknown. Damn clever. It's Chinese. I think there's a seat harness on there. Well, there's something that looks like a harness, that part there. As for the other parts, haven't got a Scooby-Doo. But anyway, there's the photo etch fret. Let's just seal itself again. And it looked like it came in a separate bag as well, inside the bag. So let's have a look at the decal sheet. Oh my god. Look at all these stencils. God, there's hardly actually any decals for the thing, it's all stencils. Anyway, here we go. The troublesome RF 92935, not 92235. And I don't know who prints these decals, but they look incredibly thin. I mean, they barely register any sort of profile on the sheet, but they appear to be in beautiful register. There are some instrument. Oh no, hang on. All the dials are separate decals. There they all are there. Look at that. Fantastic. So that instrument panel will look spiffing, hopefully. Very little in the way of carrier film surrounding the decals. Even on the, I don't know if I can angle that so that you can see. It's very hard to see on the little TFT screen on the camera, but maybe once this is rendered and you're looking on YouTube, you might be able to see it clearer. But you'll see how carrier film has been kept to the absolute minimum, which is always a good thing. Unlike the Japanese decals, which are almost like placards. Well, there we go. That's the Great Wall Hobby MiG-29 SMT. No idea what SMT means. I dare say somebody will probably enlighten me. I must admit, I am really looking forward to getting started on this. There's the sides of the ejector seat, just in passing, and presumably that's the cockpit. I have no idea. It's a bit of a jet, so I'm clueless. yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started on this one. As I say, it's going to be later in the year before I do. Well, I just have to make sure I get the T45 done in time for Telford. But I suppose I could maybe make a tentative start on this because I'm actually quite eager to do so. I will have to get some new paints, of course, because I don't have any paints in my paint collection for modern Russian aviation, so it's always a nice thing to have to do. I always enjoy having to get new paints. But I'm not looking forward to those stencils though. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and maybe it may have tempted you in this direction. And we'll see you all again soon. Toodaloo. To the beer.